Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in.
Pierce for three. It's good. Tatum puts up a three. Bang!
Welcome to the Celtics Rewind. I'm JP.
And I am Nat The GM. What's up, y'all?
What up, Celtic fans? This is episode 5 of the Celtics Rewind, talking all things Boston Celtics. I'm JP, the franchise. She's Nat The GM. What up, Nat? How you doing?
I'm doing good. JP, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Going 4-0 this week, so I'm very happy about that. And got my parlays going on right there with Tatum and Brown. So I'm feeling good.
Nice.
I am feeling good. Feeling good. So the Boston Celtics went 4-0 this week. They went against the Knicks first, and back the last game, the Boston Celtics won, by a close margin. But this time they kind of blew the Knicks out, 114-98, with Tatum leading the charge with 35 points and was huge in the fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown with 22 points, Porzingis with 21 points. Holiday, congratulations to Drew Holiday, scoring over 15,000 points. Got 14 points and 7 rebounds. Sam Hauser, we've been really big on. He's been really awesome coming off the bench. So what are your takeaways from the Celtics versus the New York Knicks?
That's too big, too strong when it comes to Boston is just very different this year in how they're scoring, how they're even defending. Kristaps gives them a different look, and he causes some issues for opposing teams. When it comes to Derek White and Drew Holiday, it's the best defensive backcourt in the league. They get after it, and they can also score. They also unselfish. They're also 3-point threats. So you add that to then Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis trio. It's just a recipe for disaster. It's just too much to try to guard. And that I'll be curious to see, about 40 games in, teams get to watch Boston and how they're going, what are they going to do? How are they going to scheme? Boston, I'm very curious to see that because right now, Boston, they're winning close games. They're winning in blowouts. They're winning, scrappy games. They're winning all types of games, and they are creating great habits. So that New York game was actually nice to see, because New York plays Boston very tough. So I think they're 2-0 so far.
Yes, they are 2-0. The points in the paint, the Porzingis effect right there. 36 points in the paint for Boston compared to only 18 points for the New York Knicks. No RJ Barrett too as well, because usually RJ Barrett really have a good game against Boston. He had a really good game against Boston in the very first meeting that we had this season. We was better with the turnovers. We have 11 turnovers. We scored 15 points off the Knicks 12 turnovers. We outscored the New York Knicks in the third quarter, 32-23, and also in the fourth quarter, 30-22. That gives us, an 8-2 overall before we get into the Nets game, which is the revenge game that you was talking about, was against the 76ers to see how better the Celtics can play. But here's the thing. Kristaps Porzingis and Jaylen Brown were out for this game. Jaylen Brown was out with sickness, and Porzingis was dealing with an injury. What's your big takeaways as the Celtics defeated the 76ers 117-107? What did you see different with the Celtics than you saw them in the first game against Philadelphia?
Well, the first game against Philadelphia, Philly really wanted that game. You can tell. They're coming off of 2 losses to Boston in the playoffs last season. So they were going to give they were going to get Boston everything they could. They were going to give us everything they could. When it comes to this particular game, Boston's more settled, and it's the next man up. So we're missing 2 key guys, You have a big three, you're missing two of them. But the thing is, you have a guy named Al Horford who comes in who's very, very used to starting for this team. And he has a role. He has a reserved role this year. So therefore, when he comes off the bench, he's now not looked at to score 15 to 20 points. Now he can just defend and then kind of get in where he fits in offensively. And that's what you saw, a team that they're just used to playing, their style of basketball. And, Al Horford just fits right back in. Then you got guys like Drew Holiday you can lean on. You got guys like Derek White you can lean on. Sam Hauser lighting it up right now. So he's just feeling it, and I think Pritchard is starting to possibly find his way. We'll see. We got to give him about 4 or 5 more games before I can give him, a nod that says, okay, maybe he's figuring it out. But this is what you see. So, and we won, and I'm confident again. When we match up with Philly in the playoffs, I'm going to take Boston again. So
I agree with you 100%. It's going to be a really good matchup, especially in the playoffs with the 76ers and Boston Celtics. Tatum played pretty good with 29 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Derek White stepped up with 27 points. Luke Cornett, I got to give him a huge shout out too as well. Went 4 for 4, got 6 rebounds, got 9 points in his minutes. Out rebounded the 76ers 45 to 41. We did a really good job of moving the ball, penetrating, kicking it out to the open man. We still didn't win the points in the paint against Philadelphia, unfortunately, but we was able to shoot them into the game. Even though we got outscored in the second quarter, but we kind of made up in the third quarter in terms of scoring the basketball. So Holiday was so aggressive from the jump to the end of the game offensively, which is great. Shout out to Al Horford, who was big off the bench, like you said, with 14 points, hitting 4 3-point shots, 5 blocks. I think all 5 blocks was on Joel Embiid. Like, he plays Joel Embiid really well and got 8 rebounds too as well. So great job for the Boston Celtics going to 9-2 overall. Like I said, they defeated the 76ers 117 to 107. And then we're going into the in-season tournament. We're 1-0 so far. We beat the Brooklyn Nets, and now we got the Toronto Raptors yet again. Last time we faced the Toronto Raptors, pretty much the challenge, we was up 27, and then the challenge of Joe Mazzulla and stuff, and the Raptors was kind of upset. So this game was kind of a little bit different, I would say. Celtics was up by 16 points. And unfortunately, the Toronto Raptors responded back in the third quarter, was able to shoot the ball really well. The Raptors is a really good fourth quarter team, and they showed it against Boston Friday. And it was not a great third quarter for the Boston Celtics. Sam Hauser and Al Horford was great off the bench. Derek White hit the big shot. What's your takeaways from, even though we won the game 108 to 105, it was very close than it was last game. What's your takeaways from this game against the Raptors? Because they looked a little sluggish in terms of offense.
When it comes to the Raptors game, that game, you could tell the Raptors will never play that hard again this season. They just wanted that game. If they won that game, and they don't win another game this season, they feel accomplished. They came out playing hard because they were offended by the call that was correct. The challenge. You're still coaching. It doesn't matter. Yes. No one told you to be that bad this year. No one said, hey, you should suck this year, and that way we can take pity on you and not do our job. So it's just kind of ridiculous. You get mad at just anything, that's very depressing. But when it comes to this game, Boston was prepared. They were just prepared for the shenanigans, They missed a lot of calls. Actually, this game in particular, I really did like how it was reffed, because the calls they swallowed the whistle. I loved that they did that because they were able to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it wasn't a lot of stopping. It wasn't a lot of else being called. I really liked that, actually. That's probably my favorite referee game so far this year with Boston, because they swallowed the whistle, So it was a good game, and we still won, and then we got their best shot.
Yeah, and what I love about it, like you said, the referees did a great job swallowing the whistle and being able to just let them play. And it got physical too as well, which I really love because I kind of miss like those back in the day when it was kind of physical and you was able to just go ahead and just go back and forth. I miss that sometimes, but I'm glad the referees just let them play. 7 Boston Celtics was in double figures. I love the fourth quarter because we kept saying that fourth quarter is so much different. Like the Boston Celtics are just different in the fourth quarter than it was last year because in the fourth quarter, they didn't know how to handle late situations. They didn't know how to handle taking shots, don't know how to handle controlling the ball, controlling the tempo. And sometimes they'd be just up and down, but they just look so more poised, just with the addition of Drew Holiday with just so much experience, just teaching them about what to do in that fourth quarter. So I loved it. And 15 fast break points. Raptors, unfortunately, still won points in the paint, though. But in terms of rebounding, we're one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA, 44-41, and 10-2 overall. And we would think that this last stretch was going to be a cakewalk, unfortunately, as the Boston Celtics was walking in Memphis.
Yes.
As they face the Memphis Grizzlies. And Marcus Smart, unfortunately, could not play. I wish he could have played, but we'll see that in February if he can stay healthy. And let me tell you something, that I did not expect this to happen. I just kind of say that it was going to be a very tough game. Like when you looked at the first play, Jaylen Brown got a nice dunk. And we was like, okay, this might be a cakewalk. But credit to the Memphis Grizzlies. They played the Boston Celtics really tough. They adjusted what they need to. They played more physical. They was going out in transitions. Yeah. Like the Grizzlies could have won this game if they wanted to, but the Boston Celtics figured out a way in that fourth quarter because they lead the league in clutch time as Tatum wise his game because he usually take the shot, but he passed it to Porzingis wide open because he was about to get double team, and Porzingis hit the bucket. Del White with the huge offensive rebound and the tip. Drew Holiday almost cost the game with the way he was trying to lay the ball up and dunk, but it was not a great game offensively, and the turnovers. Tatum with 8 turnovers, 17 turnovers for the Boston Celtics. Yeah. Porzingis was great, and Hauser was great. Holiday was good defensively. I'm glad they stayed poised. What's your takeaways from this struggle of an offensive game for the Boston Celtics at Memphis?
Remember I said before in the beginning, you create habits. And the Boston Celtics are winning games even though they are having trouble scoring, So maybe, if they're not hitting the shots, they're still winning these games. And that is a recipe for success. This game, you would think they were going to just walk in there and win. But, these guys they don't have anything to lose right now, Memphis. They're not necessarily in the playoffs right now. They're missing a lot of players. There's a lot of problems. They have some health issues going on. Marcus Smart didn't play. Then you're missing Brandon Clark and Steven Adams. And then there's no John Morant. So they're missing so many pieces, and they're going to continue to struggle. But then, so at this point, all they have is Bane. And they're going to play hard still. They're still going to put up shots. Bane is playing great this season, might I add. So they could have lost. It's been a loss, honestly. But again, Boston finds a way. They win ugly, and you have to be able to do that, So again, they won in blowouts. They've won close games. They've won ugly. So, and this is one of those, so add it to the list. And now they're 11-2.
Yeah, exactly. It was just pretty ugly, but Aldama had a really good game, and I was like, I've seen the box score. I was like, he got 28 points. wow, he had like, I forgot how many rebounds, but he had a lot of rebounds. And then Desmond Bain, like you mentioned, played amazing. Like he was just killing us in that first half. Like we just could not do anything to Desmond Bain, unfortunately. Tatum had a really quiet game. I think he only had like 20 points. Jaylen Brown only had 12 points, unfortunately. Drew Holiday wasn't really great offensively, but defensively, he was really good, though. So, yeah, it was a really ugly game, but at the same time, like you said, Memphis is just playing with house fire, and they're trying to keep themselves, like, consistent so they can at least be a play-in team, though. So, yeah, 11-2 overall. Best record in the NBA right now. And going into the next 4 games, Nat, I'm going to tell you this. I'm afraid of, at best, we could probably be 3-1. We probably might be 2-2 because there's 2 games I'm afraid of. Actually, maybe just 1, but possibly 2 games. So at Charlotte Hornets tonight, then they got the Milwaukee Bucks, which I'm penciling my calendar since the beginning of the season. I'm ready for that matchup to see Dame Lillard versus Drew Holiday. And then we have at the Magic, which Boston has trouble beating the Orlando Magic because of their length. And they have a wonderful coach. They got wonderful pieces over there in Orlando. And then they got the Atlanta Hawks on Sunday. So your expectations for one of the games, what game are you penciling in? And what will be the best record Boston can go out of these 4 games?
So at best, they can go 4-0. Because I actually like the matchups. At worst, I have them going 2-2. I want to see the one versus Milwaukee. They're going to collide continuously, and then they're going to be in the playoffs, and they're going to collide. They're going to be in a 7-game series. These are the 2. These are the 2 that are going to be duking it out to get to the finals. I'm still going to take Boston in that game because I just think that defensively, they can cause problems. Defensively, Milwaukee cannot. So, offensively, Boston is they score better, actually, than Milwaukee. Milwaukee does score. They're starting to catch their footing when it comes to offense, but Boston just kind of has it at this point, and I think you'll get the best Drew Holiday game when they play. So, I'm actually going to say 2-2. For that.
Got you. I agree with you 100% with this one. That's going to be a good game. I'm definitely going to pencil in for the Magic game. Like I said, Boston always has trouble against the Orlando Magic, but this is a new look Celtics team. We'll see how they're going to do against the Orlando Magic and then the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, that's pretty much going to be a blowout, unfortunately, unless Boston plays to the level of the competition and all that. So that's the only way I can see the Hawks winning this game, though. But yes, this is episode 5 of the Celtics Rewind. Thank y'all so much for listening. If you want to catch more Celtic Rewind full episodes and also clips too as well, catch us on HoopSpaces YouTube channel. Also check out the podcast on Apple and Spotify, whatever you want to. And any last words you want to say, Nat?
Yeah, so the Orlando Magic game, you want to look out. That's a good game to gauge, how they're playing versus these young run and gun teams. Love the Orlando Magic and love what they're doing. So that's another game that I'm looking forward to seeing.
Amen to that. And then thank y'all so much for the love that you all gave us on the little short clip of Peyton Pritchard being an issue for Boston Celtics, though. Maybe he might hear it. Maybe he might play a little bit better. We'll just have to wait and see. But just watch out for different clips that we're going to be coming out to as well. But yeah, this is episode 5. I'm JP and she's Nat. We'll see y'all later.
Later.